Let's see.
Okay, we should be good now. Let's try it one more time.
You can try. All right. Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Finks.
And we're back, man. Episode 313.
Yes, sir.
We got a special guest in the building, Baby Hulk, David Baby Hulk Wilson.
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, what's good, gang?
Yeah, man. It's a pleasure to have you here finally, man. It's been a while.
Man, it's an honor to be here, bro.
Most definitely, man. As you guys can see, this guy's got a bunch of accomplishments in the background. You know, he's got that anime poster, but he's got a bunch of, you got the look like Olympic gold medals in the background, and he's got his belt right there. This guy's a hell of a fighter, man.
Yeah,
for reals. But before we even do anything, I want to preface this whole conversation with giving you a proper entry. In the blue corner, standing 5 foot tall, coming out of Wilmington, North Carolina, standing at 5 foot tall, 126 pounds, David Baby Hulk Wilson.
That was real good, man. They got a picture in the cage one time.
Oh yeah, they could put me in the cage for announcing, but I get my ass. Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. It's pretty dope to have you here on this Sunday. First of all, we want to apologize for the technical difficulties we had earlier.
Yeah, man.
We value your time. We don't want to, have you out here just waiting. It got so bad. He was like, "Hey, man, I got to go to the bathroom." I was like, "Oh, this."
You put the timer on too. Like, is this a pee or is this a doo doo?
Yeah. I wanted to say.
I knew you were thinking that, so I tried to make it back kind of fast.
Yeah, that was the fastest shit he ever did. Oh man! All right, man. All right, so let's get right into it. First of all, you got a fight coming up. Up, and it's in a completely different discipline. Which is what you good there, Keith?
Yeah, I was just seeing it.
Oh, okay. There it is. You got to fight in a completely different discipline against Joey Knight. And that's on. This is a big deal. This is on DAZN, right?
Which is DAZN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, DAZN, the zone, however they say it.
Zone, I think.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
And in one of the main cards is a guy that's like a food critic guy. You know what I'm talking about? He eats and he's like, whoa.
Oh, is that the one black dude?
Black dude. He does that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he can fight though. But he does that. He does that wild shit where he's like, oh, he like eats burgers and smashes them in his face and shit.
That's what.
Yeah, he's like a content creator guy. So
yeah.
Hey, I mean, no slight to anyone, you know, but that's what he does. You've made it. You've made it to where you've made it by strictly fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I caught you when I first caught you on Street Beefs some years ago, and I think one of the most notable fights that I seen was when you fought that dude Viking. That's got like the most views, I believe. I could be wrong, but from what I seen, it was Viking. You were a complete disadvantage. That guy was like 6'2" or something.
Now he's like 6 foot.
Oh, okay. That nigga looked like a giant. But it was an awesome fight. I mean, I will say this. In order for you to fight these people, you have to be extremely skilled. Obviously, you're strong and you got really good striking, but to close the distance as quickly as you do, that takes skills. If you don't have those skills at 5 foot, you're gonna get your ass whooped because these guys are 6'2", 6 foot, and you just closing the distance, just hit that overhand right. Bam! Just man, and it's like they can't block it. I don't know do you have pretty long reach for your height?
No, man. You know, people say I'll be at a disadvantage, but honestly, I'll be feeling like I got the advantage. Like once I get in on these motherfuckers, like I just go to work. So I'll be like, I'm a student of the game. I just know whether it's like a tall guy, short guy, it's really how well do you use your weapons and how like good of a fighter and how good is your IQ. Like, yeah, I might be in a disadvantage in some of these positions, but there's other positions where like I dominate at and I'm very well equipped at. So honestly, it's just one man could use his weapons and bring the other man into his game more.
I've seen that. And I didn't mean a literal disadvantage, just on paper, like as far as
right.
reach and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, and you got a fight coming up against Joey Knight. I don't know. People have been entering their predictions, which I think this is kind of bullshit, but they've been entering. I just want to let you know. I just got to put this out there. They got him at 82% advantage and you at 18.
Dang.
So I don't want to ask you how does that make you feel. I just want you to absorb that. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Just absorb that.
That sounds like you should put some money on the underdog.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm not here. I'm not Charlemagne. I'm not trying to stir up any shit. But I just wanted you to see that. Cause I seen that. I'm like, I don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't get it, but it's all good, man. You know what to do. And I do got to commend you for fighting so close together. You know, also,
no, I seen the thing. He fought twice. Didn't he fight twice in a day on Street Beefs?
Man, that's something light, you know.
That's
that's why people like, man, like I remember, like, you know, there's some insider information, but the promoter for the boxing hit me up and be like, hey, man, like this is really kind of close to the fight. Is it any way you can kind of like get out of it? You know, if you lose, if you get hurt, all this. I like, bro, I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna be fine. You know, sit back and I don't know, just be ready. And that's what I do. Like I train way too hard and I'm too like on point with my game and I know like how I'm coming and I know these guys aren't doing the same. So that's why I'm able to do that.
That's real.
Yeah, that sounds like a person that's doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a sense from you that you're like conceited or full of yourself. I just get like your confidence comes from work.
Yeah.
And I think you can lean on that. Especially when you start seeing that guy getting gassed and he starts dropping his guard and now you're hitting him in his jaw and you're like, oh yeah, he done.
Mm-hmm.
What I did see from you, it speaks to your character, is when you fought Viking, and I don't know how many people caught this, but at the very end of the fight, you start pummeling that guy and then you got frustrated because they didn't stop the fight. Like they kept letting you beat on him and you say, hey man, y'all got to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you're a malicious person. But it looked like it when you be beating people's ass.
Yeah.
He's like, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah. I don't want to kill him, man. Stop the fight. I'm like,
you notice when I said that, I never stopped hitting him. I said it, but I'm like, yeah.
I see that. But I mean, you got to understand, there's a certain amount of calculated fear there. You can't be hitting somebody and let up because you're going to let up thinking you're doing enough damage and they're going to pop you back. So part of defending yourself is striking too. So you had to do what you had to do. But you did feel, I'm not saying you felt bad, but you felt empathy. You had enough empathy for the person you were fighting to tell him, hey, dude, y'all got to stop that. Like you're supposed to be a judge. Don't get caught up in being a spectator too much. You know? Like, I don't want to hurt this guy. He has to go to work. But imagine this, though. Imagine you go to Street Beefs, right? You're like, oh, yeah, I'm fighting this 5-foot nigga, man. Yeah. This gonna be real quick. And then you leave. You got 2 black eyes. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but I seen a fight where it was this nigga with dreads you fought. And, man, you lumped him up bad, bro. Bad. And you kept choking him out. And you was hitting him. And he just was surviving the whole time. I don't know how. I was like, how is he surviving?
I know what fight you're talking about. I know what fight you're talking about.
I'm like, man, if I'm getting beat up like that, I'm just be like, hey, you got it, bro.
People don't know how to give up, man.
Right. No mas.
Yeah.
It was that Roberto Duran. Yeah, when he was fighting Sugar Ray the second time. The first time Roberto Duran was put hands on Sugar Ray.
He won, right?
Huh?
Most people said that he won.
What, the first time?
Yeah, he definitely won. Durant won the first one.
Yeah, Durant won that first one. But that second one, Sugar Ray just busted out on the tricks. He was doing a little
He was dancing and stuff.
He was dancing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this shit is over.
Mm-hmm.
It was some tough fighters, man. Fucking what's the name? Sugar Ray Leonard and who else was
Tommy
in
Hearns.
Tommy Hearns,
Man,
Hagler.
Boxing was a straight up
Hagler, yep. The Four Horsemen.
Marvin Hagler. Didn't he go up a couple weight classes too, Marvin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He started out as what, a welterweight?
He started welter. He went up to, what did he go up to? Like
middleweight,
165 or
maybe?
something like that?
Yeah, middleweight probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it was some tough dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I think is like in this generation of boxing could have fought in any era is actually fucking Bud Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bud convinced me that nigga could fight at 200.
Yeah. That's what they're saying. They're saying Canelo don't want those problems,
Bud
man.
is crazy, dude.
I've been hearing the other, like, I'm like, everybody keeps saying like Canelo too big for him. That's why he don't want to take the fight. But I don't know. I want to see him in there with him.
He just fought the Charlo brother.
Yeah, but they saying he not like wasn't the one who took that fight. Wasn't that the smaller one,
The
right?
smaller
Who
one,
moved up?
yeah.
He moved up like 3 weight classes. So they like, oh, if he did that to the Charlo, what would he do to like Bud?
But
I don't know. I don't know if that's the best metric though to judge things off of, because sometimes, man, some people just got the sauce. You see what happened when Buster Douglas fought Mike.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his mom, and that nigga went in there and just smoked him.
Yeah.
And Tyson knocking out Tyson back then, that was not no regular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson was fucking everybody up.
Yeah.
You know, people can say what they want, like, oh, he was fighting these. Like, Mike Tyson was just slicing people down. It was just a massacre.
No, facts.
It was a waste of time.
I hope we get to talk about that later. Like, I got to get your opinion on that. Mike fighting again.
Oh
yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty brief because I have an opinion about it. But
me too.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into some questions for you, bud. All right. Now, do you have any sports background prior to fighting in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, so I didn't grow up doing like particular martial arts like until I got to high school and I started wrestling. But you know, growing up, middle school, did a little bit of football for like 2 years, but then I realized, hey, these guys are getting bigger and I'm not gonna get bigger. So probably football wasn't like the best option.
Right.
But I found my stride when I found wrestling. My dad, when he was in high school, was a standout wrestler. I took to it really well. Didn't win a ton like my first couple years, but like really stuck with it. Like started off-season training, really took off with that. Did a couple years in college with the wrestling, so that's really my my background, and weightlifting, obviously, but like weightlifting and wrestling was really like my go-tos.
What was your weight division as far as in wrestling?
Yeah, I was 125 all 4 years in high school.
Wow.
And and briefly like 133 in college. So but then like when I fought,
you've maintained the same weight for over a decade. Maintained the same
weight. Bro. But I won't say maintain, because like it was a point in my life where like I was like 140 and I couldn't see like under like 130 for a while, but then I got back under.
But I think it's from what I've seen, at least from my short information that I've had on you, is it looked different. Like the 120 something from 4 or 5 years ago looked different from that now. I think that you got more lean muscle mass now, if I'm not mistaken.
No, yeah, that is actually right. Like I switched up my lifting routine once I got into MMA, because coming from, that traditional, football background, like, you're doing like a lot of compound lifts, you're doing like a lot of heavy, bulky lifts. But now when I'm in like mixed martial arts, like you don't need like that slow, like dense muscle. So I started, using more kettlebells, doing more like calisthenics and like road work. And then, I kind of just, tightened up a little bit, like I like to say.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of guys that do MMA. They do the kettlebells, like the Turkish get-ups and all that different stuff. More functional. It's functional strength, but it's still strength. Their strength comes from all kind of different places. There's some people that don't lift any weights, but they are massively strong. Like
Mhm.
they'll do some shit like, oh, I do 2,000 push-ups a day. You're like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And they max would be crazy, like
Yeah,
315. Like what?
yeah.
Shot
I
push-ups.
think it was I seen a video. I think it was a rock climber that
Mhm.
didn't lift no weights.
Yeah, I seen that.
You seen that video? And it
Mhm.
was two
He was doing
rolls. He
mhm.
was doing rolls.
Mhm.
I forgot it was that black dude, the real juiced up guy. Damn it, forgot his name.
Mhm.
But it was him and some other bodybuilder dude, and he was doing way more weight than them. He's doing reps, and they was freaking out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And he was like, what's the big deal? But he had probably like 5 plates on. He was
Yeah.
just rolling it real easy for reps.
Yeah.
So it's just different strength. But
Yeah,
that
my brother's like that, bro. Like he doesn't like lift any weights. He just like throw motherfuckers on their head.
really,
Yeah, like
What?
yeah, like the I'll probably say even more than me. Like, bro, my brother's like so strong. Like you see guys like maybe like 180. He's like tossing, throwing them around.
How much does he weigh?
He's probably my brother is probably no more than like 150.
Oh, okay. So he got you by about a
Mhm.
30 piece. He a little taller
Yeah,
than you?
right. Yeah, he's about 5'3".
153, 150 is big.
Yeah, nah, right. It's kind of solid.
Yeah, because you gotta look at the pound for pound. Like if for your height, you 126, but if you was 135, 140, that's like equivalent, like at my height to being like 250.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Roughly. Because I notice everybody you fight too, you look bigger than all of them. Like you look a little wider. Now, it's
Yeah.
one fight I seen that I was like, hold on, bro. It was this dude, damn it, taller black dude, but he was 5'7", and he beat you. But
Oh, I know. So yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
they had him at 127. That nigga was not 127.
Nah, yeah, I know you talk about the Shamel Finley fight.
Yeah, that nigga was not 127. I'm not trying to
shout out. No. Shout out to him, bro. Bro's really good. He's doing his things in the pro. Like, we're cool. But bro, he's one of them ones that like cut a good amount of weight, and that was like my first fight like as a pro. And bro, talk about like a fucking welcome to the league moment, boy.
Yeah, y'all was banging though, but I just was like, wait, he 127? Because he looked like he kind of had mass.
Yeah, that was a big boy. He was a big boy.
That's the biggest 127 I ever seen.
Talk about that though. Like I know, there's always these conversations about, we talked a little bit about boxing, but sometimes boxers don't take certain fights because they don't want to lose they zero. But talk about that, like how it's different from, in mixed martial arts versus boxing, and how I think MMA fighters are more willing to take risks and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So typically in the boxing world, they have what they quote unquote like padded records. They're go against lesser opponents, cans or whatever, until like they develop their skills and they have a big record, and then they go on to people more they style or like more they level, like as they accumulate their wins. MMA is a little different. We're more on like a smaller niche, and you could go to the big show with less fights. So you still get guys who get padded records, and once they do get to the big show, they usually there's a difference. You're like, you've been fighting bums your whole career, and then you get to somebody who hasn't, you're probably not going to do so good. So it's a catch-22, because you could be the guy who kind of has a record and kind of looks for easy fights, but once you do get to those bigger regional shows or like the UFC type shows, then you're going to get handled, and now it's like, all right, where do you go from here now?
Yeah, I see it. What I've seen in MMA too is the better fighter can lose, because all it takes is untimely takedown, or motherfucker got you in a guillotine. You've been hitting him in his head the whole time. Now you in a guillotine, like, oh Lord help, I've seen that, man. I've seen it was who was it? Oh, they did a flying knee to start the fight. Damn it, what's his name? The Puerto Rican dude.
George Masvidal.
Masvidal.
Yeah, Masvidal. Yeah.
He did a flying knee and fucking ended. And what's his name? Damn it, who did he knock out? I'm trying to remember dude's name. He fought in a celebrity fight against freaking
Ben Askren.
Yep. Ben Askren. Hit Ben Askren right in the head to start the fight. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, bro, I lost some money on that fight. That one hurt.
It reminded me of when Aldo was at his height. And then McGregor was talking all that. I'm going to fucking beat his ass. I'm like, man, you ain't fucking with Aldo, and he smoked Aldo.
Wow. That was a time.
That's nuts, man. That's crazy times, man. All right. Another one is let's see. What made you interested in MMA? Because you have a wrestling background. I know that a lot of wrestlers transition over to MMA. I feel like that's one of the prequels. Is if you have good wrestling, that's a transferable skill. You know what I mean? You don't see if you just do karate. I don't think that shit is gonna get you further. If you just do karate, it's not a good entry skill right into MMA because you're gonna have to pick up all the other shit. But what is it that interested you in MMA?
Okay, so yeah, like you said, like I did have a background in wrestling and everything, and like if I ask myself, I'm like, oh man, like this is so crazy that I picked up MMA. But I talked to some of my friends, and they be like, nah, bro, like we seen this coming from like a mile away, which is because like when I was doing wrestling and everything throughout the years, like I randomly would just be able to go to martial arts class, like, oh, a 2-week boxing lesson here, or I found a jiu-jitsu gym, or some guy was teaching kickboxing for like a couple of months. So I always was around it, and just like a lot of young guys, fan of the UFC. And then I guess all that kind of culminated in like after college, I really wasn't done competing. Like I really wanted to kind of leave a bigger mark in my collegiate career, which I didn't get to do. So just training and wrestling and going back to my old gym, we had like not just like a pro fighter, but like a world level fighter in there. And I talked to him, and I started taking classes, and one thing led to another. You start doing the classes, you start learning some moves, and then he's telling me I got talent. He thinks I could make a real career out of this, and fast forward, and now we doing it.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
That's fine.
I mean, because the thing about it is the fight game is a different level, bro. Like you don't have no fear. You'll fight anybody, anywhere. That's not the average person. Like I'm too peaceful for that. Like, bro, you want to fight me, man? Let's talk about it. Let's talk it out, man. I don't want to do that. If I have to fight you, I have enough basic skill to defend myself. That's it. That's it. I was doing some I was training, just doing MMA training for a while, but I had a conflicting schedule. But even when I was doing it, I was like, yeah, this shit is for real. The training they have you doing, man. And I was struggling to breathe, throwing shots, having a hard time breathing. They have me with a guy they have you with the entry level guys, obviously at first, the minimal skill guys, taking you back to the basics. And even the guy, he'd probably been there a few months before me. Dude was just putting tips on me, man. He hit me in the mouth, and I was like, I wasn't tripping on him, but that's what you kind of go through. So I can only imagine going from there to going into these pro cards and find all these guys. That's definitely takes some balls to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, man, this is kind of a little backstory of like how, like that's kind of how I got into it, but why I got into it is just like a lot of like young guys. You really kind of like don't know where your life is going, but I really found you guys know about stoicism.
Stoicism? Go run it down.
Okay, so basically stoicism is the philosophy of kind of like taking it, like for a really layman's term, like taking everything in stride, like whether you're going through a hard time, rough time, to kind of keep even keel about everything and really just kind of focus on what you can control, and just working towards, not really letting your feelings get the best of you, and just, kind of going along with your work. And 100%. I found like I'm a super positive person. Like I kind of really push this positivity thing. And all throughout when I was kind of coming up out of college, trying to change my life, I really got into like the self-improvement and, the 1% better every day, making yourself holding yourself accountable. And that kind of all culminated when I found MMA, because to me, just like wrestling, MMA is like one of the fucking hardest things I think you could do in life, right? You have to dedicate. You got to dedicate. Yeah, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I do this shit, like, I go hard. So it's like, you got to dedicate your mind, your body, your spirit. Like, this shit tests you in, like, every way you can imagine. Plus, you're dealing with all your other, like, everyday life on top of that. So it's like all that build, like, you know, working and just, like, kind of constructing myself into the person, like, I wanted to be.
100%, man. That's why I respect what you do, because, you know, to have a regular life. And I think you said you had working overnight shift.
Mm-hmm.
So think about the type of advantage that's putting you, a disadvantage that's putting you in. And here's why I say that. Throughout your whole life, productivity happens during the day and sleep happens at night. So you had to flip your shit backwards and still eat a diet and still train all the time. So when you go into the ring, you battling life and niggas in the ring. So you can.
Now, I mean, like, for real, I really feel like I got like such an advantage on these guys. I got to do something to kind of help them out. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, should a nigga not get no sleep? Should I thought about tying my hand behind my back one time. I'm like, all right, nah. But now I take all that shit in stride. Like, you know, hardships, you know, challenging, all that shit. Like, it makes it even sweeter, you know, when I overcome those things.
100%, man. That's dope.
Talk to us about your college career. Like, how did you know, what school did you go to? How did you get there? And a little bit about how you know, was wrestling and stuff there.
So coming out of high school, I, you know, didn't do as good at the state tournament my last year as I wanted. And I only really wanted to go to college to wrestle. So I was looking up colleges just to wrestle. Like, what type of programs? Like, I don't care, nigga. Do they got a wrestling team? All right, boom, we go.
Yeah.
So I really only applied to like 3 colleges, and the one that I got accepted to was the one I wanted to go to, which was the University of Carolina at Pembroke, UNCP. And you know, it's a small little Native American you know, university. And I went there to wrestle. Did about, you know, my 4 years between that and the club. Like I said, I didn't really get to like accomplish too much. My biggest accomplishment for real was like I went from like the club team to the regular team, right? So basically like a fucking walk on. Like I was a walk on. So
yeah.
But I worked so hard on the club team, and like, you know, I was winning on the club without having like the support of the school, that my boy Blaze, and I never forget this because nigga said it at our banquet, but he seen how hard I was working, so he went to the coach, and this like our best fucking wrestler, and he's like, yo, I see how hard David's working. If you don't put David on the team, I'm gonna walk out. Like, I'm not gonna do this shit. But I swear on everything, like, I never knew this man did that till he told this story at the banquet. So
wow,
that's just how I was coming, man. Like, I just really, whenever I set my mind on something to a real goal, like I just fucking, I go after it.
Oh, let's expand on that. That's beautiful. That's also showing you there's always someone watching you. There's always someone watching you, regardless of how much you think you're not doing or whatever. When you display effort and you give it all you got, it's somebody watching you, bro. It's somebody watching you all the time. Like, for example, like, you caught us. We didn't know you were seeing us. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this shit every week for 6 years. You know, we obviously caught you, but I mean, I caught you in a different light. You had like 40-some million views. But yeah, but yeah, there's always somebody watching. Not to mention, you was like, I was on a club team. I don't really do that well, whatever. What you got to understand is it's like the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady didn't hardly have no offers out of high school, none. Then he went to walk on finally, and he went to Michigan, but he was a 6th-string quarterback when he started. Some quarterbacks got hurt, some situations happened. He worked himself up the depth chart. He got a shot, then he got drafted super late. So everybody's story is different. It's some people that start off hot and end up cold. And there's some people that start off real motherfucking slow and they end up, you know, turning into Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got cut from his JV team. So that's the thing, man. I
The
think
varsity team.
huh?
He got cut from the varsity
It
team.
was JV, man.
He
Yeah,
got cut
JV.
from JV?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he got cut.
Oh, you know that's my hometown.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wilmington.
yeah.
Wilmington.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
where Laney High School.
Yeah, see, so
Yeah.
you know, he know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a trip. But
That's
I
dope.
think it goes to show that every story has its own, I won't say own ending, but it has its own journey built in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we might sit here and be like, you know, we've had times where we don't try to be a slave to the analytics, but we'd be like, oh, our numbers is doing crazy, and then they come down, and then they go up, and then they come down,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even worry about that no more. I just focus on putting out content, quality content, and if we have collaborations with people such as you, making the best of it, man.
Mhm.
And I think,
like, oh my bad, I didn't mean to interrupt.
you're
But just
good,
like
you're
you were saying, like I was about to say, y'all could really like mirror it to how y'all doing because, bro, like 300 more than 300 episodes, bro. Like I remember, like I think I caught it right around like the 280, 290 mark, and just really like seeing like y'all consistency and like, bro, every day on the mark, like it's like that time, and you guys are really precise and you guys put a lot of effort into it. So it's like that's just like me, like plugging away at it, plugging away at it, plugging away at it. And just like y'all, you speak it into existence. It's like I hear you all the time. It's like, yo, Keith, when we, you know, $1 Million podcast and you know, we're doing all these things, like that's how I always talked about it. I was like, yo, when I make it here, when I do this, like, you know, speaking into existence. So I know it kind of mirrors the same thing y'all doing.
100%. Why not you? Why not us?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And this is no hate to anybody, but there's gonna be people you see that are, I guess you could say, you know, kind of winning in life, and it's like I could do better than that person. It's no hate. It's like I
Mhm.
understand who I am, and I'm looking who they are, and I'm like, I can do that. In fact, I could do better than that. I'm not shitting on their accomplishment. However, I see myself in a better position than that. You know what I mean? There's some fighters, I guarantee you there's some fighters that might be a little further along than you are, but they're not better than you. You just ain't got a chance to fight them yet. That's the only problem. Once you
Exactly.
get once you get that shot, people will find out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at the end of the day, I think, and this is not even a worst case scenario. I think the best case scenario is if you put yourself out there and you fail, you never failed because you went for it. It's so many motherfuckers that never go for it. Never. I don't even know how it feels to be a spectator my whole life because I'm gonna be the motherfucker competing.
Exactly.
That's I like the competitors.
And my coach used to tell me the same thing because, like, you know, just like I'm sure you guys, you know, you get negative comments, you know, hate or whatever. But it's like I talked to my coach one time, like, oh, you know, guys online talking about blah blah blah. I'm like, man, they would never get in the ring and fight. My coach like, bro, they wouldn't come to this, like, they wouldn't come to our classes and have a class. They wouldn't get through a class. They couldn't do like a quarter of the shit we can. So like, why would like we ever like listen to their opinion on anything?
Yeah, 100%. But I think the unfortunate thing is it's the same point. I think the positive thing about social media is that it gave everybody a chance to have a voice, and that's the same problem with social media. Is it gave every fucking body a chance to have a voice, but the issue ultimately is they're spectators. A lot of them don't even have a real avatar in their fucking bio. They probably don't like what they look like. They stink, and they only having conversations that they shouldn't be having. So it's like, dog, you don't even go to the gym regularly, motherfucker. Like, what do we? I've seen people talking crazy that I know in person in real life, and I'm like, nigga, you should not be talking.
Yeah. But you know what that's so messed up, because when I used to think the exact opposite for somebody like me, like I'll grow up like, man, I really like this video, but I never left comments. I'm like, nah, that'd be lame to leave a comment when I'm gonna be like, oh, this is awesome, 2 thumbs up. So it's like the people who like should comment or would comment like positive things, they don't, because they're like, you know, it's kind of like, why am I commenting type shit. But when the negative people like, oh, I got time for this, they're gonna say like some fuck shit, and then like, you know, a bunch of people are gonna like it. But the people who, you know, would leave like positive comments, they're not thinking like, I used to think, bro, like nobody wants to read my dumbass comment. So like, why even do it?
Right.
So, but
Yeah, that's not true though, bro. You'd be surprised what them good affirmations do to you, bro. Like me, I'm trying to destroy the negative algorithm. I be in niggas DMs, pause, but I be in niggas DMs like, hey man, hey, you doing a great job, man. Keep doing your thing. You make great music or whatever. Because I found some people, they're not getting a bunch of, they're not getting a bunch of monthly listeners or whatever, but objectively, I like it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
If I like something, I don't need a bunch of motherfuckers to like it before I like it. So I will get in your DMs and be like, hey man, keep going. I like this shit. I like the whole EP. This is super dope. Whether it's your fights or whether it was you hollering at us, whatever it was. That we need more of that because it's real. It's real easy to leave some fucked up comments on people's shit. But it takes a person who is secure within themselves to, because I'll be seeing you pop up randomly with some fire emojis or something. I'll be like, oh, this is Hulk, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
you've amassed a decent following yourself.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but a lot of people that amass the following, it comes with a personality trait. Like they kind of like, oh nigga, I got 40,000 followers. I don't see these niggas.
There's people that we know personally that like got decent followings, or they they doing their thing, and then they are very they treat like a comment like it's like giving somebody $1 million. Like, I'd be like, it's not really that serious if you like something. Another thing I would say too is like sometimes us as like content creators, athletes, whatever, we have to lean in more to the positive stuff anyways, because sometimes you'll skip over the person that is acknowledging you and go right to the negative stuff and be arguing with them online. So I think for anybody, like instead of acknowledging the negativity, one, you can approach it, in a more stoic manner, but you can also just that same energy that you was going to give to the negative person, just give that to the person that was showing you love and have a whole conversation with them, and then just skip over the nonsense.
Absolutely. Because we give a little too much attention to goofy shit too. Like on TikTok, what I've tended to do, and I do this intentionally, is whenever I scroll up on the For You page and I see somebody that got like 3 likes, I listen to the whole TikTok, and it'd be some fire ass shit. It'd be like a really solid message, or something positive or good information, and I'll leave a comment like, hey man, God bless you, this was dope, I'm glad I came across.
I do be seeing that. I be seeing you in the comments or some shit.
Yeah, and it'd be like 3 likes on it, and I do that shit on purpose, because the on the For You page it'd be some goofy shit sometime where it'd be like, I got a cookie in my booty, and it's like, why does this have fucking 5 million views and 600,000 likes? Like, this is ignorant shit, man. I mean, look, we like goofy videos, that's fine, but this is it's too unbalanced.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's why I always say, like, that's what the pushing like positivity is for, because like I said, whether it's like leaving like a good message or a good comment, all you see, and like, well, I tell my girlfriend this all the time, like my worst like trait right now is going to the comments. Like I see a cool video and I go to the comment, and then like immediately like the first one is like, why is this person doing this? This is stupid. I'm like, fuck. And then I just go down that rabbit hole. I just like fucking reading a bunch of comments.
Yeah, the thing about it though is when somebody says something decent, and mind you, like, we're regular people. Like, we're not like Hollywood stars. So regular people have, skin discolorations and crooked teeth and shit like that. But when regular people have a message and it's a positive message, you'll see the first comment, yo, I like the message, but that nigga teeth too crooked.
Well, like, what? Right? Like, yo, that was fire, but nigga hella ugly. I'm like, oh, okay. I got it.
Is your mic straight?
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
It was probably just because he was yelling.
It probably peaked or something. Do you be training with that headset too? Yeah, that shit got hella sweat in it. That shit about to explode like a motherfucker. No, it's all good, man. Hold on, there's another one. How did you get in touch with Street Beefs? How did that, like, what was the prequel to that? How did that start?
So I always tell people this. So this is when I'm starting to train. I've been training a couple months. I'm like, all right, man, time to take a fight, right? I want to see if I'm really built for this shit. Let's see how it's working out.
Wait,
So you know,
let me stop you. You only was training a couple months when you did that?
yeah.
What the fuck? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, I'm ready to go. Let's see. But so I'm looking for like amateur fights, right? Like nobody's getting back to me. Like I got no followers at this point. Like I got like maybe 50, and like I'm DMing motherfuckers. Yo, let me get on your car. Let me get on your car. Nobody like reaching out to me. So one time I was just chilling in the garage with my homie, having a little session, and out of nowhere, this man like he's on his phone. And he like, hey, bro, look at this. And, motherfuckers is fighting in the background, like in the backyard. And I'm laughing, oh, that shit, wow. And he asked me like the most weed high thought you can. I'm like, hey, bro, would you do this? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I would. Like, you like, no bullshit, would you do it? I'm like, yeah, found out about it. Boom, boom, boom. Next day, he's like, all right, they in Virginia. It's about like 6 hours away from us. And that shit is happening in about 3 weeks. So I'm like, all right, bet. Sign me up. 3 weeks, train a little bit, head up there, and then had the first one.
Damn.
I thought you had been training for a while because your skill. Like, and first of all, I'm not the evaluator of skill because I don't know all the nuances. But your fluidity looked as if you had trained longer than a few months. I feel like what really got me too is due to you having a wrestling background. That's what made you look more fluid because you was scooping niggas up and dipping them and socking on them. So I think that you married the skills, but your strength was wrestling at that time. Am I not correct?
Yeah, if you see it, like I literally felt like no punches on the feet, and it's so funny. Like I read the comments and like they're still up to this day. But like when the fight starts, this motherfucker throws like 2 punches at me. And then like I shoot on him, like it may be like 3 seconds before like I shoot on him and I take him down. And like one of the top comments was, bro, if he would have kept it standing, Baby Hulk would have been in trouble. I was like, nigga, like he threw 2 shots, never touched me. And like I shot in on him, but people was like, bro, if he would have been in trouble. So, damn.
No, you better now though. It sounds better. Go ahead, go say something.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
You good. You good.
Hello.
You
good. We got you.
All right, so
yeah. No,
so yeah,
man.
so
What?
yeah, that's what that was.
Oh, go ahead, man. You were still talking?
Oh no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I just because sometimes there's a little bit of a delay sometimes, and the earpiece, you got the earpiece situation going on. You got like a little bit of ringworm residue in there.
Oh no,
I know about them wrestling matches, nigga. They be having all kind of man. It be wrestlers coming up there where their whole arm is green. You be like, oh shit.
That part.
Yeah, I had a homie that wrestled, man. He did a freestyle. And he used to suplex motherfuckers and do illegal stuff. What they call it? Cross facing. And it's like a punch, but it's just a cross face.
Yeah.
Bow. I'm like, oh my God.
Dang.
But to be real though, if you have very basic general striking and you a wrestler, you will fuck somebody up with that alone. Just with that alone, because if with a wrestler, they know how to get angles. They shoot you and grab an ankle. They could grab your motherfucking toes and twist it this way, and you don't know what's going on. That's where you at a disadvantage. If you don't have any background with wrestling at all, and a motherfucker shoot on you, you don't know what to do. The best thing you probably could do to save your life is try to sprawl. That's the best thing you could do to say. Or you could try to, like, if you shot at me, the best thing I could do is direct your head away from my body. So if you shoot at me like this and I push your motherfucking head, I could at least redirect you this way. But then after that, if you grab my wrist and get me on the ground Muay Thai, I'm fucked. That'll be the worst arm. I got long arms too. That nigga have my arm twisted all back down there. Police will be there, ambulance. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's dope with Street Beast. I don't think I let you complete your thought on that. So you got with them and you had how many fights under them? I counted. Okay, you had Viking, you had that black dude, you blacked both his eyes. You had biggest Babyface. Okay, so
it goes Babyface, Ace, what's my man? Hardest Stone, Viking, what's Turk, Sensation, and Painkiller. So I think that's like seven 7,
About
8.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
My favorite fighters was you, and it was this nigga that would be, he used to switch his stance up. Sometimes he would fight like Muhammad Ali, and he wore suspenders. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
You talking about fair play?
If I think it's fair play, yeah, he wore
Yeah,
suspenders.
that's my nigga. Bro, my nigga was dirty with it, bro.
Man, and I'm like, he would switch it up. I think he did one MMA fight too. I think.
Yeah, he did a couple MMA fights too. He would. Wait, let me ask you. Do you know who the Chiseled Adonis is?
Chiseled Adonis. I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, bro, he's this commentator, like super funny. He did like a whole like video on like all the fair play fights. I gotta say, yo, fucking hilarious, hilarious. I gotta. But yeah, he was one of my favorites too. I ended up meeting him.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I seen what's his name? MMA, Mighty Mouse. What the hell's his name?
Demetrius Johnson.
Yes, he commented on your fights. He was
The
bigging
GOAT.
you. He was bigging
The
you
GOAT.
up. I was like, that's dope, man. That's a
fire.
good look.
Yeah.
But that's the most surreal shit like ever. Like I've had a couple of like MMA fighters kind of like shout me out, and that's like the craziest shit. Like to kind of see like the people you look up to and like the sport like shouting you out is. I guess that's like I guess when like LeBron tells Jason Tatum, bro, like you got fuck, like it's really crazy.
That's dope, man. As far as your different disciplines, so Muay Thai is one of them, correct?
Yeah, I train a little Muay Thai.
Okay, but it's definitely jujitsu, wrestling,
Yeah,
and it's some boxing, correct?
Those are my main three.
Okay, now as far as the boxing goes, as far as breaking those up in a percentage, what's the percentage of what out of those three?
Oh, you talking about me right now? What I was saying?
Yeah.
For me, like if you see my last fight, you'd be like, oh, this motherfucker like just boxes. But usually it's probably 70-80% wrestling, and then mirror that with my jujitsu. So getting guys down, really pounding them out, landing some big shots, and yeah.
Go ahead. You
good,
good,
Bobby? Yeah.
You're good, man.
So either submitting them or getting a TKO like that. Recently, or not even recently, but in an attempt to like have a more well-rounded game, I do more stand-up now. More boxing, more kickboxing, and just mirroring them. But like I always try to go to my bread and butter, which is my wrestling, my grappling. And if people could stop that, then we go to the hands and everything. But yeah. I kind of get in that mode now. Like I'm starting to fall in love with my hands a little bit because I work on them a little. I work on them a lot, and I could really crack guys. But always knowing like what your base is, and where's the best place for you to have the fight. And for me, it's my wrestling.
Absolutely, man. That's why I got to commend you for taking on a completely different discipline with the boxing. And you like, fuck it, I'll fight him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think one thing you're gonna take away from this fight, man, and I'm gonna put it out there. I'm choosing you. I'm picking you for sure. I don't have all the background on this guy. This motherfucker's got him 82%, which I don't know why, but I think you could get him, bro, especially with that motherfucking right hand. I ain't saying that right hand is undefeated. Once you and that's why I thought you had a long reach. It's just that you close the distance so quick, and it's not like it's almost like an anchor punch. It's weird, like it's an overhand right, but it's quick, and it's like I don't think you're lunging either. It's like you stretching out, and you caught dude about 6'1". You caught him straight in his jaw, and you was not close to dude, bro. Now when you hit him, there was a significant distance between you and him. So I'm like, hey. You catching niggas with a couple of those, they gonna.
Yeah, I know. I just like you said. I know how to close the distance. And there's the thing with my overhand is I have a lot of different like ways of setting it up. So, like you're saying, like I go to the body. I lower my level. Like I do a lot of wrestling. So pairing all them things, people people always do ask me that, like, bro, they know the overhand is coming, but how the fuck do they still get lent? Like, I set it up somewhere. I'm like, am I shooting? Then boom, but like every fucking, I land that bitch. So I'm doing something right with it.
Do you think it's equivalent to what do they call it in boxing, like a parry move, like where you hit them here, but because you're 5 foot also, and you drop yourself down, like that's where your advantage is, your lower center of gravity, to where by the time they think you're doing something, now you already popping back up, swinging on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
the one thing. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
But the thing about me is like people always like you said, like, oh, like on paper it's like, oh, you have a disadvantage, oh, you have a disadvantage. But you got to think one thing. I'm always fighting dudes like taller than me or like at that height, bro. Who's fighting people like me? So when people get in there, that's just what it is. But like I'm a different style from a lot of people. So you also saying like, why do people get hit with like, bro? Nobody's like facing a motherfucker like me, like that can like that get like. That's big and strong, but can really wrestle, but then can also like fucking throw this overhand at you, and like I give a lot of guys problems.
What? Two questions. We'll ask the other one later. Where did you learn that punch? Because I know for me, when I'm looking at boxing, I see a lot of Mexican fighters using that and setting it up in that same way. So where did you learn that punch?
That's dope. That's actually one of my a couple of my people, because I'm a real student of it, so I kind of break down like the people who like executed the best, and like you said, a lot of Mexican boxers. What's my man name? The one who fought Pacquiao all them times, Maidana.
Marquez?
No, Maidana's not Mexican. It's probably Juan Manuel Marquez.
Yeah, Marquez.
Is that him? Okay.
Yeah. Marquez knocked him out once.
Yeah, the really bad one.
The mean one.
Yeah. So he has a great overhand. Roberto Durant had a really good overhand. In MMA, my boy Josh Emmett, a lot of like shorter wrestlers have really good overhands because like it mirrors really good with a double leg. Like it's the same mechanic. So that's where I kind of learned it from. Like I kind of, see who has the best. Tank has a really good overhand too. Like I kind of study shorter people, how they use it too. So like those are kind of like the people that I kind of, well, like not learned it from, but kind of, fine tuned it from.
Yeah,
that's fire. Yeah. And then when was that first time you knew you could really crack? Like you might've been, was it sparring or was it a street fight or what?
Oh, bro, it's funny. It was literally that fight that y'all talking about, like the Viking fight. Because I remember it so vividly because, we was training, I knew I would wrestle him, and, I come from a jiu-jitsu gym, and he was known for his jiu-jitsu, so we was really thinking about like how to counter that, like some stuff to that. But it was like, we were sparring, and we were learning that, and I was really like just kind of hitting everybody with it. Like, and my coach was seeing that. He was like, "Oh man, you're really landing." And it was during like sparring, and we're going, and then I was like, I'm gonna throw it, but I'm gonna take some steam off of it, and I threw it and landed it, and like my boy started like stumbling. I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I was like, "Oh boy, you good? He like, he did a couple of steps, but he was good." I'm like, "All right, man, like." This motherfucker been landing. People been telling me. So, you just trust it. So I threw that one and I came over the top with that one and fucking dropped the old boy. Like, that's the first time ever I've dropped somebody with hands.
Wow.
Like,
really? You know what's funny about that is once you start hitting him, he felt his strength. You said his strength was not Muay Thai, but jiu-jitsu. And I noticed that he was purposely trying to go to the ground, and that shit did not work. Because he had you in a raggedy arm bar, and you just went, I'm like, oh god damn.
Yeah.
You had a better chance. He was trying to keep the distance with the leg. He only caught you with a few, but I was like, oh no. When I first seen it, I was like, man, if homeboy can hit him with them legs, but you was quick enough to close the distance with that punch or to shoot on him. And you didn't give him time to set that shit up. Because to my limited knowledge, you got to set your leg kicks up, correct?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I don't even like me, like just outside looking in. I don't like people throwing naked leg kicks, which is basically like, without setting them up. I like, set them up with the hands in with the kick, because then the guy it's harder to see the kick coming, because you have to have your hands up for the punches. But when you just throwing kicks naked like that, and you're keeping your face on the center line, so like as you kick, somebody could just fucking ding you.
Oh man, that head kick shit, man. Oh, it's so gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
What's wild too is like, it sucks because it's not too many ways you could like block leg kicks. Like I've seen some, you could check them though. I've seen where they could check it, but even that's gonna hurt. Like a dude like me, if you hit me back here, I'm fucked. I'm not used to getting hit in the back of my leg like that. Like, and you guys know how to whip that leg, just whap, and that shit will swell your shit up, and it's hitting all those nerves. I remember I was listening to an episode of Joe Rogan, and he said there's so many nerves back there that once you keep getting whacked at the end of that fight, your whole shit swollen. You got to go to the hospital. I remember John Jones got his foot stomped so bad he had to go to the hospital because his fucking toe was flipped the other way.
God.
Yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah,
this shit is do you feel like John Jones is the guy that where there's some parallels between you and him because he has a very deep wrestling background and he's more of a Muay Thai guy? Is there some parallels? That's
very interesting. I guess like John Jones, like obviously like he's like really tall and long, exactly. But I guess the biggest like similarities, which I could kind of see, what you could see, is like how we blend our wrestling. John Jones was like a real big, when he got to the a clinch position, he was really good with his elbows, really good with his knees, and he could do like really fancy throws and stuff like that. So with me, I'm not as tall as John Jones, but when I'm inside, I can really like mitigate that distance, and I can use my elbows, and I can do like what we call dirty boxing. So I do see that similarity that we both like to, be really active inside the clinch.
Yeah, I've seen that. The one that was probably the most vicious in the clinch was fucking, I could be wrong, was it Anderson Silva?
He was a monster.
Used to get your head and you're like, yeah. And I'm like, why are they letting him do this? But
oh my gosh, he's so strong. Like, so just like when you get like this, like, oh bro, like, and you can't get your fucking head out. Oh, it's the scariest shit.
Yeah, and how do you block that? You gotta hit him with this, or how do you even block that shit?
So if you got really good position, so what they're doing, they're putting like their hands on the back of your neck, right? And they're controlling the back of your head and your neck. And because wherever your head goes, your body goes. So you're gonna have to really stop them from like breaking your posture. So you're gonna have to come up and either like frame off of them or like have like push their arms up to where like they're not breaking your posture, but you're gonna have to get in a good enough position before they start kneeing you.
Oh my God, I've seen him end some fights on that shit, but I knew it was over for that guy when I seen that leg break. I said, God damn it, pack it in.
But that was the most gruesome shit ever.
God damn, that shit broke. I said, God, just turn the TV off. I don't want to see them more there. I hate when in the NFL, I hate when they do it, because when somebody gets their leg broken, they keep doing the replay. Like, stop doing that. And it's like, oh, that was a tough shot there.
I hate that.
As you can see, it looks like his leg goes backwards. Oh yeah, let's run that. It's like his family's watching, motherfucker. Turn it off.
Yeah.
And they preface it like, this is hard to watch. Play it again.
Yeah. Turn this off. Go to commercial.
As you can see, it'd be Tony Romo. As you can see right here, his eyeball comes out of his socket. It looks bad. Hopefully his family can see it. He's all right. All right, man. Let's switch it up here. In regards, let's see here. Oh, at what point did you realize you could be a legitimate professional? Because there's you don't just snap your fingers and it happens, right? There's always a defining moment that hey, I think I could fuck these dudes up. What was that time for you? Do you have any time where you felt that feeling?
It's been a couple times, but I guess some of the moments that I could kind of, just point to was being in a room with my coaches and some of my training partners. At one moment, I looked around and we're in a relatively like small gym in like a small part of like North Carolina. A lot of people know about it, but to my right, I got a UFC middleweight. To my left, I got a UFC lightweight. my head coach is, fighting for a war title in Bellator. Like these are like just random people who happen to come together. But I always say it's not random. It's how it's supposed to match up. And then I got my brother who's like my best training partner who could push me. I got a young fighter by the name of Juan, who's my size, who's a southpaw who pushes me. Like I got all these things that collectively are around me, and I'm seeing like I know what I could produce, and I know with like these people around me, it's just like it's a recipe for success. And so I just kind of know like being in the room with like it's like that thing. It's like if you're hanging around like 9 millionaires, you're gonna be the 10th. So like I can't be around like all these successful people and it not work out for me.
Absolutely, man. That's a great point, because some people go the other way. They see somebody else's success and it reminds them of that they're not there yet, or they feel like it's being reductive. It's really not. It's like these people are doing it. I'm in the room with these people, and these people respect me for a reason, because I do the work. So I'm going to continue to do the work, and I'm going to get there on my own merit, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing to see. It's just like with me and Keith, we know some people out here in our city, and they've got millions of followers. There's a couple of them out here, and I'm like, hey, they did it. I'm hey, congratulations. But I know my time's coming too. We know as a collaborative, our time is coming, and that's the thing you got to hold. Like when you see all these people, I guarantee you, there's a million people that you probably knew that, hey, I want to be a fighter, blah, blah, blah. And they ain't been to the gym in a long motherfucking time. You know what I'm saying? You showing up all the time, and they're like, and they can't even ask you, hey, baby Hulk, you still fighting? Because they see it everywhere. They know you ain't quit.
Yeah.
But they fell off and they quit. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen that. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's how it always is. The people start out with you, they all motivated, but when they're not reaping the fruits of their labor right away, they like, oh, I don't know if they're not getting that instant, they're not getting instant gratification. So it kind of pulls them away from it. But when you love this shit, when you really love this shit, you like, if I gotta fight for another 9 years, I ain't going nowhere. I gotta fight. If I gotta fight 10 motherfuckers in a month, we just gonna be fighting.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it's about, man. And with that attitude you got, you're gonna get there, man. And I think it's a blessing for us that we found you, so we kind of could like document this, man.
Yeah,
it reminds me of are you familiar with Andrew Schultz, comedian?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew Schultz and Israel Adesanya, they have a pretty good friendship. And many years ago, he came on the Flagrant podcast, and Andrew Schultz was in this little janky looking office that he used as a makeshift studio. It wasn't like a super big podcast yet. And Israel Adesanya was just coming into his own. He wasn't a champion or anything. I think he had just came from doing was it K1?
Yeah, the kickboxing.
Yeah, so he was having a conversation. He's like, it's going to be a good time, when we're both reaching the apex and where we want to be.
Yeah.
And we watched a podcaster / comedian and a fighter both rise at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking nuts. It kind of reminds me like when we bumped into this guy, the Baby Hope, and this guy's taking on all these fights. There's going to be a time when we could look back and be like, wow, fucking 7 years ago, we were doing a freaking live stream, and now look at where we all are now.
Yes, sir. I tell all my boys that too. Like, of course, like they see me doing my thing, and they be like, "Oh, Dave, when you're like, when you're a big time fighter, when you're rich," and I'm like, "Bro, when you get rich, when you get on, like I'm gonna be asking for these favors." So like, I always try to instill that with my all my friends. Like, I don't think that what I do is like the end all be all. I'm not like so self-absorbed with myself that I don't see like the talent that my friends have and like how hard they work. So they have to believe it too, though. They have to. They have to make sure they're subscribing to that, because you could speak those positive affirmations, but how you feel about you is where you will ultimately be. So there needs to be some self. What do you call it? Some self-subscribing. And you know what I'm saying? It's not to be reductive of your friends. I think that they're great. But sometimes when we see something so big, it's like we remove ourselves from it. Man, exactly.
Put yourself in
that position. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
Put yourself in there too. Absolutely. I think I fucked you up, man. You was talking.
No. Yeah, no. You ended it off well.
I want to know. Obviously, your nickname makes sense, but is there a story behind how you became Baby Hulk?
Yes, sir. All right, so obviously, I was way taller in high school. It was like a terrible accident after high school that I lost all my height. So, no, that was a bad joke. But
I was like,
I was waiting. I was like, this nigga got
he
some
said, "Yo, what?"
explaining to do.
He said, "Yo, what happened?" Like it was a terrible squatting accident. But no, like so,
I really got concerned. I was like, "Dang, that's bad, man."
He said, "I gotta make sure that shit don't happen to me." So growing doing the wrestling thing, I had this physique, and it was another team's manager. I always would see her at events and everything. We were like, friendly. And one time she walked up to us like after a match, I'm all juiced up, and she's like, "Dang, you're like a baby Hulk." And then like she said that, and like everybody started laughing, and like every time since she would see me, she'd be like, "Yo, baby Hulk, baby Hulk." And it was just something like I really liked. And when I was kind of, doing the fight thing and I got the street beats of like, "Yo, what's a good nickname?" Right. And I was like, Baby Hulk. I've been running with that for like a little bit, like even on our flag football team. I'm like, "Yo, put Baby Hulk on the back." So I was just running with it for a while, and it just seemed like, a good nickname. And then once it happened, it blew up.
That's dope, man. Because it's a lot of people that get nicknames and they're not good ones. It's some nigga running around named Dookie Butt for the last 20 years. And he don't like it, but hey, Dookie Butt, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Dookie Butt? So yeah, you got a name that matches your, in-ring persona. I don't want to call it persona, but you're very strong. Obviously, that's what's funny is that the strength is not even a skill. It's kind of like natural, but it's almost like a I don't know how to explain it, but it adds on to what you have because you have the skill, but a lot of motherfuckers don't got the strength. You pick one dude up and just walked him across the ring.
Yeah,
that's not a normal thing. Most people don't have that type of brute force strength. Like I'm a pretty strong guy, especially for my size, but it's kind of expected. When you a dude that's compact, they don't expect you to lift niggas up like that and dump them on their head across the ring. So that's like a blessing. That's not even a skill.
Yeah, for sure.
So I could get behind the Baby Hulk thing. I was sold when I seen them fights, when I seen the street beefs. A lot of it was brute force strength. It was skill, but it was a lot of strength involved because you was just controlling their body. Even when they try to, try to do the Muay Thai, your power was just pushing him into the ground. He couldn't breathe. Then you folded him like a chair. It was one part.
I was beasting guys.
Yeah, his legs went behind his neck and to where he was like, and then he started landing those shots. That's like a blessing, man. Everybody don't have that type of brute force. So yeah,
my dad's like the same way. Like my dad's like a freaking. He did weightlifting, bodybuilding for like over like 30 years. Like he's like a world champ. He's like a national rank. Yeah. So, bro, like I honestly, like when anybody sees my dad, like they can like, "Oh, that's where you get it from." Like, yeah. So,
how tall is your pops?
Like, now that he's older, he's like 4'11". He's a little shorter now. Yeah. You get older, you lose a couple inches.
So you got a bunch of little tough ass niggas in that house. God damn. Baby. See, my thing is, bro, I gotta ask you this too. I wanted to ask you this. Have you ever had a situation where people tried to fuck with you?
So, like, listen to this. So, in middle school and everything, like, motherfuckers used to get on my, it was never like no physical shit. Cause, like, even when I didn't wrestle, like, I just wasn't letting, like, people just run all over me. But motherfuckers used to get their jokes off like a motherfucker. Like, everybody had some jokes. But it wasn't until like high school, a couple years in the lifting, a couple years in the wrestling, I didn't get as many jokes. Now, when people like started making jokes, they'd be like, "Hey, yo, Dave be wrestling, bro. He a picture on your head, man. You don't mess with him. Don't mess with him." So just like once I started to get kind of, yeah, exactly type shit. So once I just kind of started doing my thing, those like naturally like people stopped fucking with me. But yeah, that just came with training and everything. I think it was a little bit more of like a mutual respect too, because it's like okay, like type shit.
I think like regardless though, I remember a lot of cats like, especially when I was in high school back in the day, motherfuckers be roasting. But so you got to be careful though, because if you roasting niggas, you better be able to fight, because somebody gonna get mad one day. I seen this, they was picking on this nerdy nigga one day with glasses. He was quiet. He didn't bother nobody, and that nigga started whooping homeboy ass. And you ever seen somebody just beating somebody ass and they start crying because they
frustrated.
I'm like, this nigga beating your ass while he crying, bro. That's how you got to leave people alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I crack a joke, first of all, I respect every man, every person, because ultimately that's who I am, right? But you don't know what people capable of, homie. It might be a dude, he might be scrawny, he might look defenseless, and then you fucking with him and he pull that shit out on you, now you fucked. It can either be that, or he might just whoop your ass. Because if you got a sweater on, because obviously your arms is out and shit. So when you out like that, I don't think nobody gonna fuck with you. But if you got like a big hoodie on,
you
got your glasses on, you might have, I don't know, it might be like a anime sweater.
Yeah, anime. Yeah.
They be like, man, fuck this nigga, man. And then that's a bad day. That's when niggas get put on TikTok. Forget you. All right. Another one. Let me see. Oh, I was thinking about different athletes in different sports that they have these weird height biases. Are you familiar with Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's 5'9", right? I think he's 5'9".
Who playing on Boston?
Mm-hmm. So guys okay, and I've noticed this around different leagues. Well, you got your outliers like Muggsy Bogues, who was 5'3". You know what I'm saying? And who's another guy? But you've had these guys.
Bob Sanders for the Colts.
He's 5'8".
Bob Sanders was
was 5'8".
Wow, yo,
that nigga was crazy.
Big Bobby, yo,
his body couldn't handle the impact.
But how hard he was hitting, it was crazy.
But he was huge though.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5'8", like 210 or something like that.
Wow, that nigga had the biggest arms in the league, boy. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, Madden had to max that shit out. Yeah, but you got to be an outlier when you're not a bigger guy, because I'm not trying to be messed up or call people bums, because you is in the NBA, but let's just be real. Why is Isaiah Thomas not in the league, but Ben Simmons is?
Mm-hmm.
Like this dude has been living off his potential for years, and is not capitalized at all. It seemed like he don't even care, But then you got Isaiah Thomas fighting. He just got in the G League recently and went off again. And then after the game, he was crying.
Yeah, and
it's like you go from, he lost his sister, went out there, balled out, and then the NBA just got off him. I don't know what.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
Yeah, but I see these things happen a lot of times, and even in football, like with quarterbacks. Doug Flutie was the last really shorter quarter. He was 5'8", right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's 5'8". I think 5'9", 5'8".
Mm-hmm.
But they gave him shit like, you can't play quarterback if you're not 6'2", 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, he can't see over the line. It's like, bro, at some point you got to cut this shit out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you could play, you could play. Period. Because it was what's that running back for the Patriots years ago? Danny Woodhead.
Yep.
Danny Woodhead. Huh?
I think pause.
Oh, no, you got me there, yeah. But he was like 5'7".
Yeah.
But motherfuckers was cutting him because of his height. So my question to follow up is, have you felt any height biases or preconceived notions based on your size in any space?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, football, I knew that size thing, because that's a big man's game for sure. But as far as in the MMA shit too, if you watch a lot of the reaction videos to my fights, a lot of the times people think I'm gonna be the one that loses because I'm way shorter. These guys are way taller, and then a lot of the people, like you said, they see it on paper, it'd be like, okay, he has this much of a height disadvantage, this much of a reach disadvantage, he's gonna lose. So I get like underestimated like all the time when it as far as like the height thing goes. But for me, like like I said, it's just how you look at it. If people see it like that, I see the exact opposite. Sometimes I'd be like, damn, is it fair on my end? I'd be like, sometimes I'd be like, yo, I'm really doing motherfuckers dirty. It's like, do I have the advantage like being so short and like being as strong as I am? So it's really kind of like, if people see it as a disadvantage, I see it as like an overwhelming advantage.
Wow. You made a good point earlier about it. He's like, how often do they fight niggas like me?
Nah,
But
that's a great point.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. You gonna meet your match one day when you fight a nigga 4'11. He gonna be on your ass, boy.
I think that'd be like the first nigga I can head kick. So we'll see.
You gonna be trying out new moves on him. That's dope, man. That's a really dope perspective.
That's funny.
I think that you are what do you call that? You don't have any victim, like you don't have a victim mindset at all. Like,
yeah.
It's more or less like and it's not a fake confidence. It's something that you've subscribed to many years ago. And you kind of been playing on it. Like you spoke about it earlier, like that incremental positivity that
definitely
day by day getting better. People talk about it. They post these little things on TikTok or Facebook and these little motivational quotes, but like, how you living offline? Like offline, when you off this shit, like how are you really living? You know what I mean? And I think that's definitely you for sure, man. And it's going to take you pretty far. So I want to make sure I gave you that compliment also.
I appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah, I gotta. I know. I was watching. I forget the fighter who you were fighting, but I was like, it looked like he got like the Saiyan, like the Vegeta little it was like a tank top, but it was like the Saiyan warrior thing, and I was like, that's before I knew you was like into the anime and stuff like that. So was there a reason like why you wore that, and then also like just kind of speak to your relationship with anime?
Oh, okay, yeah. So mind you, like I got that like that, I believe that Christmas, and my boy got it from, he knew like I was a big anime fan, and dude, it just worked, like, bro, like it was a fire, rash guard tank top, and I'm like, I come out with this shit, like people are gonna go nuts, and nah, it was just, I just thought it'd be hard. It'd be a hard look. And as far as like my relationship with anime, basically like any other like young black dude, Toonami, Cartoon Network got me, at a young age, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, all the classic, anime, and just like all my best friends in the anime, and it's just like, I don't know, it's the way that anime is actually able to like capture emotion and the art and just like the life lessons that you get from it. I've always, really identified with that a lot.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking out loud one day. I was like, man, I think the reason why like a lot of, especially like athletes growing up, you gravitated towards Dragon Ball Z because if you look at Marvel, you look at DC, like most American, and even a lot of anime, there's actually they don't actually get better. There's no like training involved in most shows. But in Dragon Ball Z, you could literally see like Vegeta in the like training, you know what I mean? Getting better, doing like finger push-ups, like one finger push-ups, you know what I mean? In the hyperbolic time chamber with Trunks and stuff like that. So I think that was something, and at least for me growing up, where I was like, yo, I'm trying to get ripped like Vegeta. Like I used to have my little boxer briefs on with no shirt on. Cause
hey, this nigga went Super Saiyan a couple times.
Oh, bro, I know that feeling. I've done that a couple times.
I walked in here one day, that nigga was like, oh. I was like, dang, this dude is crazy. Yeah, I think anime is cool, but that was a little bit, I won't say after my time, but I didn't really grow up on that. Like I'm like a little bit ahead of y'all. What are you, 29, right? You
Yeah.
29? Okay, yeah. I'm 39. So I got you by.
Yeah.
by
I was
10.
thinking that too. Yeah, you just like I said, like it was like Toonami, Cartoon Network. So I feel like you just missed like that little timeline.
Yeah, but you and Keith closer because he's 32. So y'all got that gap, like y'all right there. Me, I was in the Transformers. That was my era. Transformers, Wildcat, Thundercat, excuse me. Motherfucking I was young enough to get the Power Rangers, though. The first generation Power Rangers. They had that black one. They had the black dude on there. Like, he was literally the Black Ranger. He was the only motherfucker there. He was a black Ranger.
The Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
good old racism. I love it.
Yeah.
The white girl was the Pink Ranger. That shit is a trip, man. I mean, it's politically correct though.
I'm gonna be honest. They try to switch it up, like they did the reboot with the movie. They try to switch it up and they switch the colors around. But I mean, it ain't that bad having like the Yellow Ranger being.
Hey, 90s was a trip. You see some shit on TV from the 90s, you like that shit never make it.
Yeah,
now.
it would never work.
Bro, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not at all. Another one, man. Is fighting challenging for your relationships? Because it's not common to be with someone who is literally fighting for their life. So has that ever presented any challenges for your relationships?
Yeah, for sure. Any woman that I mess with now, I always tell them, and I'm always straight up with them. I'm like, I'm super invested in my career and my training, and I can't skip out on that, or I can't, shortchange myself on that, because if I shortchange myself on that, not only like on my, my future plans in jeopardy, with making the money I want to do, living the lifestyle I want to do, like my health is in jeopardy, because if I go in there, not 100%, I'm gonna end up paying the cost. So I let every woman know that I'm dealing with, like, this is the most important thing in my life right now, besides, God. And it's messed up, not as messed up as it sounds, but you got to get in when you fit in. And luckily enough, now I'm with, a partner. She understands that. She's also an artist, so she kind of gets that, when you gotta step back and take some time for yourself, that's okay. Just like if she was to take some time, to make music or create art, and I know, like, hey, I don't get to spend as much time with you right now, but this is something I can, support you on, and do my part to where you do that. So when you handle your stuff, we can come back together.
Right. Do you have any messages for the woman you're talking to right now? I'm
What
fucking with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm fucking with you, man. He was like, that was a Charlemagne.
Shout out to her.
Shout out.
That's funny. That's funny.
Nah, that's cool.
That is hard. I think, like, anybody chasing something, or anybody, I mean, whether you own or you trying to get on, it all presents, its own issues, I think, because I look at, like, obviously, like, fighters, but I'm looking at like NFL guys. Like, we know one of my friends, Tyron, he was in the NBA for a little bit. Now he plays overseas, but he was bouncing around different teams. He had, built a family and stuff like that. So he have his kids and his girl here in Bakersfield, but he's like, got cut from this team, and then he gotta, stay in the gym until another call, or, and it's just like, it's hard. And, like you said, your girl has to really understand that, and, like you said, get in where they fit in, because it's not easy. And I think it takes a certain type of woman to really, understand it, and like you said, really be able to say, like, okay, I understand he got to train at this time, but maybe after the fight we could do something, or after he finishes training we could do, or even like just like simplifying her desires to where it's like, oh, let's instead of going on this fancy date or going out of town, like, let's just watch a movie and spend a little bit of time together like that. So
exactly.
The dope thing about having a passion, or having something that you're fighting for in your life, is it will attract people that are meant to be in your life. Right. So if you're not serious about what you're doing, that's who you're going to attract. Right. And let's say, for example, you do talk to a girl like that, it's not going to be anything serious because if you have the foresight to see down the road, how is this going to pan out when I'm in camp for weeks at a time and I'm working this hard when I'm
hungry and I got to hear this shit.
Right. And I'm dialed in on my nutrition and, I'm cutting weight and I'm running like a motherfucker. Like, how can I be around a woman who can't comprehend that? So I think as a man or woman, you have to have the foresight to say, who am I going to be with? And are they best fit for my life? Will they understand what I'm working on? Because if they're not, dude, that is a distraction. And when you if you throwing blows at somebody, that is not a place you need to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That if you got any arguments, whatever, all the time, I feel bad for those. It's probably some boxer that could have been a world champ, but nigga was arguing with his baby mama all the time.
Yeah, tripping.
He's like, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm paying my child support. Nigga get in the ring and get knocked right out.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a nigga like me coming there. I ain't really got that much experience, but I'm focused.
Yeah.
Nigga been boxing for 9 years and I knock him smooth out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit it could happen, man. It's the, what do you call that? The Buster Douglas effect. Because I guess, in that fight with Mike Tyson, that nigga was doing coke with Bobby Brown all night the night before.
Yeah.
So that nigga
he wasn't on his P's and Q's. For sure.
So him and Bobby was like, it's my prerogative. Nigga got a nose full of cocaine. He come in the ring and get socked out.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's wild. Okay. I had a observation. I seen a fight from Ryan Ocasio, right? The younger guy. But he had good skills. That you guys fought to the death on that one. What did you learn coming out of that fight?
The Ryan Ocasio fight. I have to say it, but anytime I say it, like, fuck, not to sound like an excuse or anything, but going into that fight, when we took it, I really liked that fight because, like you said, he is a young, athletic guy, but I thought that I matched up really well everywhere with him. I thought I would be like bigger, stronger, and I thought my wrestling would be better. Fast forward there, do not have the best weight cut / like rehydration. It's now that I think about it, like I think that was my third pro fight or something like that. So so we get there and everything, and they got like Chipotle there, right? They got burritos. So my dumb ass takes the burrito. I'm like, all right, this is where I'm gonna eat this shit, rehydrate. Bro, I don't even get out of the arena after weigh-ins, and I'm like fucking chucking everything up. I like for half the night, I can't keep anything down, like no water, no Gatorade, nothing. It got to the point where we called my coach, and he's really thinking about like canceling the fight. He's like, nah, he said like go ahead and call it. I was like, no, let me get through the night. Let's see if we can, make something happen. Bro, I already cut all this weight. I'm already here. Like I ain't trying to fucking get here and not do it. So throughout the night, finally able to get something on my stomach, but not a lot. Just to give y'all a little wait, what did he say?
You said I was finally able to get something in my stomach. I was like, pause, bro.
Oh my god. Yes. I was able to probably hold something down. But dude, for a little what is it called? For reference, dude, I weigh in at 25. Probably the next day I'm like 137, 138. At this, I weigh in at 125, and I'm probably 129 at like when I walk in, the next day. So I don't really fit nothing on. Get to the fight. First round goes, pretty good, working well, doing my thing. Fucking cracked me with a fucking I think it's an uppercut. And I'm fighting from there. He gives me in some good shit. But bro, that whole fight, especially the moment where he has my back and he's choking, he got a rear naked choke, he's choking the fuck out of me. And in that moment, I really like, bro, you could just give up right now. Like people know what your coach know what you went through and all this. I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. So, I fought through it. fought through, all 3 rounds,
Yeah.
and I lost and everything. But just knowing, for me, it's like, bro, getting through something hard, knowing that there was a way out, and not taking that way out where a lot of people would. So I learned that for myself. Mm-hmm.
When he had you in that choke, that song started playing. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, oh my, yeah. If you see my face too, it's like pure like pain and agony. It's like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I seen that, but you didn't bitch out. You kept going.
Yeah.
And let's be clear. It's not the whole rehydration, all that stuff. That's not an excuse. I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it, how he hates that, and how it puts fighters at a disadvantage because it's too rapid, man. Like, especially if you trying to cut that out or whatever, it's not really natural.
Yeah.
And he also talked about how there should be more like there should be like more weight divisions, or I think that, or like simplify it. But no, man, I still think it was a great fight. And what I also took the fight with the black dude that was 127. What's his name? What's his name?
Finley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. With him, I'm not making an excuse, but he did hit you in the back of the head.
Yeah.
They should have stopped. They should have paused that fight when he hit you in the back of the head and it dazed you. That's illegal, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like when I got kicked in the balls. I was like, that was really.
Yeah, but that hit in the back of the head. I'm like, come on, man, what the fuck? You gotta at least give a warning when that happens. Am I not right?
Yeah, no, that's what's supposed to happen. And that's just what, like, some shit get called, some shit don't. Like, you just gotta rock with it.
Yeah. Because I was like, once they took the shot, because it was a legit shot to the back of the head. So, and I don't think it matters if it's intentional or not. If you hit somebody in the back of the head, they kind of be like, hey, something.
So what do you think was wrong with this Chipotle? Because Chipotle been having E. coli.
Oh, they did.
Years.
Yeah, they've had their issues with that.
It was weird because like we got to the weigh-ins a little late, so like everybody was already waiting there. So I'm like, was the Chipotle out for too long? Maybe like, but then I thought about my head like, bro, I shouldn't be eating a damn burrito as like the first bit of food I put back in my system. But bro, I was just so happy to make weight. But we literally came from, we was at like the Y or something, like the gym nearby, and I was in the sauna, I was in like the fucking hot tub. Like, I'm sweating my ass off before I get here. Like, I'm telling you, like I'm really having a hard time about it. And then I get on the scale, and then it just, rehydration did not go well at all.
What is your routine now? Like, or what would you have done differently then?
Okay, so if it wasn't the burrito, one of the main things now, so one of the things we when we cut weight, we take all the water and electrolytes out of our body. So when you put the electrolytes back in, I was using a lot of like really kind of sweet like electrolytes. If you ever see like the Gatorade tablets and stuff, those are like so sweet and they have like added sugar, and that wasn't really sitting well with my stomach. Yeah. So now I do more of a super salt based, like to where it's not sweet and it's not having all them added like additives. Also, like you can't drink water too fast because we're not like, I don't rehydrate with like an IV, so I gotta really like sip my water to like to where it doesn't upset my stomach, and that could take like a few hours until like your stomach's more set and you get more you got more water in your system. But just, those things, and also doing a better job of like cutting my weight without like a sauna or anything. So this last one, I didn't have to use a sauna to cut weight. Like I have, the sauna suits, the ones that make you sweat. So I was able to get close enough to to my weight to where I just cut the last bit of weight through like, running hard and sweating it off. So like cutting less weight up into the thing and like using less like of a heat source to cut it.
That's okay. What's crazy is you mentioned the water thing and sipping it, so you don't upset your stomach. Like in general, if you drink water too fast, it will upset your stomach.
Yeah.
Like it's happened to me a few times. I'm thinking I'm about to go to the gym. I'm crushing like 2 bottles of water. And then my stomach was like, nah, nigga, you need to take a shit.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I'm about to work out. No,
especially if you haven't eaten. Like I know for me, like sometimes I'll fast or whatever, and then if I'm just trying to chug water, your stomach just be like hurt.
Well, you know, it hits right at the bottom of your stomach, like nothing soaks it up, nothing like that. It's bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, that's a trip. For future reference, if you wanted to use a heat source such as like a sauna, you get one online, man. I got a sauna at my house. It's I got it for probably around $200, but it's like a zip up one.
Oh, the portable one.
Yeah, the portable joints. And I use it sometimes, and I put like a little eucalyptus in there, and I just be in there chilling, and it kind of like just gets some of those toxins out, you know. Not bad. I'm not fighting nobody, but
ain't making weight.
I ain't cutting weight like that. I gotta do all my shit through diet, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you good though, man. You 29, so your metabolism's still good along with all that work you do.
And the genetics.
Being at 39, metabolism slow in a bitch. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. What was in that burrito? What'd you put in it? Do you remember?
No, this was from the fight. Like, so the promoter and the people like had like Chipotle out for like the fighters to take, and I just grabbed a bag. I think it's like a regular fucking, I don't know, beef and bean burrito. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like a random fucking burrito, and even like I take 2 bites, and before we even like fight, so we're climbing the stairs, right? And I just crushed like half this burrito. I chugged like half my Gatorade, and we walking up the stairs. I'm like, bro, something's not like right now, and I don't even get to the damn like trash can. It's like a couple feet. I'm like, I'm like so everything, and I'm like the lady working around. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like they gotta leave me away, but it's gonna be okay. Like I'm fucking puking everywhere.
You didn't finish the burrito, did you?
Nah.
They apologizing. They knew you was coming. It's like, give it to the blacks.
They try to sabotage you.
Yeah, it's fucking faulty burritos, bro.
Yeah, there he is. Get him.
Mr. Hulk, this is a special burrito for you.
Hey, Chipotle will fuck you up in general. Like I like Chipotle ain't bad, but you got to be careful. You got to watch out for them beans too. You was fighting that dude with rotten beans in your stomach. It's like you was fighting that nigga and beans the whole fight. Yeah, the toxic. It's man. You know what's fucked up about having an upset stomach? It's like it's difficult to do anything. Like when your stomach is upset, and like even people being happy around you, you like, man, why are these niggas so happy?
You mad? You jealous?
You jealous of everybody now? Your stomach, you got a shit. Your stomach hot.
Yeah.
That food poisoning ain't no. That you would food poison, my brother. That was food poisoning
for sure.
Yeah, man. But man, we gonna go ahead and wrap this thing. Where we at, man? Can you see it?
Nah, I don't know.
It's up. I think this is the top left.
Yeah, we got 138.
138.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't see that.
Okay. Well, I believe we've taken up enough of your time.
Oh, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's good?
So I just want you to run through I know you mentioned something about like the 1,000, the ab workout, like the 1,000 reps or something like that. Could you just run through that real quick for the people?
Oh, for my dad.
Yeah.
So mind you, and this is funny. Like everything my dad said growing up, I was like, damn, that motherfucker was right. But he would always because, like I said, he's a bodybuilder and everything. Like, yo, you got to do your abs. You got to do your abs. So he had this 1,000 ab routine what he would do every day, like after his workouts and everything. So basically it's a combination of like 10 workouts. So it's like you do like 500 crunches, and after 500 crunches it's like 100 of every other one. So you got your knee extensions, you got your leg raises, you have your side and everything. So basically he put me on the game, and he would be like, bro, do this like everything. And then as a kid, especially you telling me to do it on my own, I wasn't doing that shit. And like at some point I'd be like 800, 700, sometimes 1,000, but that was just like his whole little routine that like I did throughout like high school and shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Good deal. So do you still do it, or is
it's more pertinent now. Yeah, I gotta do it. It helps with like my core workout, and I gotta look good on cam. So I'll be doing that.
man.
No, that's real. It's interesting just thinking about because you know a lot of the fighting stuff is marketing and stuff like that. So definitely having that physique when you get in the ring with the pictures and the videos and stuff, I think that just makes you that much more marketable. Because
Absolutely.
it's some MMA guys out there that just kind of flabby. They ain't got no tone. They just good fighters.
Yeah. There's a couple guys like that. There's quite a few.
No, and that's what like I'm selling the look and everything. Like when I did this, I was like, bro, I want people to look at me and be like, bro, I can't see that anywhere else. Let me see that guy's like fights. Let me follow his career and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So between like just my entertainment value, like my fighting style, and like the look, I'm trying to. It's like you guys, like you dabble in. I call it we dabble in like attention currency. So you know, the more you can grab people's attention, whether it's like go to my website, look at my post, or go buy some of the shit from me. If you can capture that attention, you can capture them eyes, you can capture them dollars.
For sure.
Yes. I think it's almost, I would liken it to being like a personal trainer. If you weigh 350 pounds and you're fucking 5'8", you're not going to get a lot of clients.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can sell yourself and and actually be physically fit, regardless of your height or whatever your stature, then people are gonna really fuck with it. They're gonna say, "Hey, this guy knows what he's doing," right? And then there's some small cases of people having really good genetics, But even with good genetics, you can tell if people are doing the work or not too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I would say, looking at you've got really good genetics in general. You know what I'm saying, but you got the work ethic to go on top of it. Because I could tell you do a lot of back work. You do a lot of pull-ups or what?
Yeah. I do a lot of pull-ups for the back, and
you do lat pull-downs too?
Lat pull-downs, a lot of rolls. Like I almost don't do arms anymore because my dad was like, yo, if you work back enough, it's gonna work your arms. So I'm always like a lot of rolls, a lot of pull-ups. I do a lot of kettlebell work.
Yeah, you don't need it, especially if you got the genetics too. Because what it is like, you're gonna have big arms if you barely do anything with them. If you just use your arms, it's because in a pulling motion, all it is when in a pulling motion, it's just like anchors. That's all your arms really are. Or especially if you get straps, your arms are really just anchors. But when you don't have the straps, it's gonna put a little strain on your bicep when you're pulling down all the way. So for me, I'm a big dude. When I'm doing lat pull downs, I got to put the seat all the way to the fucking bottom just so I could feel that movement. And then you do feel the biceps working in there. And as far as, let's say if you're doing chest moves, like chest movement, like a bench press or whatnot, you're pushing through with your triceps. So if you don't do a lot of tricep work and you do a lot of presses, it's still like a secondary muscle. You're still going to get something going. So, but yeah, man.
It's funny that you mentioned that lat pull down. I had to have niggas pull me down, like,
what?
I had to, because when I had enough weight, like if it's like over like 150, so I can't pull that shit down. I don't weigh enough. I'm like, hey, my boy, can you?
Oh, wow.
Get under the little.
You can like pull it, like jump up and pull it down.
Because like, bro, like if I hang on it, like, bro, I'll weigh less than like the weight.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
That's a trip. I never even thought about that.
they gotta fix that shit though. Like they gotta make it to where
it's like
all they need to do is add one more level to where you can readjust the actual like the height of the lat pull down. Like the top of the machine, if they had like a mechanism that dropped it down.
Yeah, so where you just at the top, so you can pull it instead of having
instead of jumping up on them. It's just fixed. It's just fixed. It's just up there.
Nah, that's
what
facts.
The fuck is this? I seen some strong. It's some strong people, but the shit is set up to where it's not really what do you call it? Height friendly, or it's not weight friendly. Because if you weigh 160 and you pulling down 350 pounds. You're not gonna pull that shit down.
You could probably physically lift it, but you can't pull it down.
Physically lift it, but you can't pull it down. Like I think I weigh. Well, shit. No, I weigh enough to where it's gonna come. It's definitely coming. I'm in like the high 70s, so I get my big ass up there. My arms at least long enough to reach the motherfucker. But if you're a dude that's 5'6" and you pulling down 400, nigga, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We had a back in the day, it was a defensive end, but he was a wrestler. He was 5'7".
Mhm.
He's 5'7". He was a motherfucking dog. Started defensive end. This motherfucker, man, I think he had like 23 sacks or some shit in the season.
God dang.
Yeah, man. His name was Nathan McCauley.
Mhm.
That dude was a dog. I remember it was a linebacker that used to play for the Denver Broncos named DJ Williams. And
Yep.
you remember him? DJ Williams played against my high school. I was a freshman when he was a senior. And Nathan McCauley was dumping that nigga. It's a little 5'7" white dude, little dude, but he was a wrestler. So he had superior tackling skills. Like once he get on, he'll one leg tackle your motherfucking ass and just pull you down.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, these wrestling niggas is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anything else, Keith?
Nah, that's all for me.
All right, man. Well, look here, man. It's been this is a little bit overdue. I would like to revisit this, and in the future, I think it'd be awesome if we had an in-studio experience.
For sure.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, but we appreciate you giving us your time. And your fight is on the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
23rd.
Yes, sir.
Locked in, and I'm pretty positive I'm getting that fight because I look allegedly. Allegedly.
Now we gotta support, man.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying. Regardless, I'm gonna.
I heard it in the last podcast. Allegedly, you have a machine that you can watch whatever you want for free.
Let's allegedly do it legally.
Support. We can do it that way. Or I could just like instead of doing that, I could
send it straight to him.
There
you go. Yeah, we're gonna send you the pay-per-view money.
Yeah. Hey, man, just continue to stay locked in.
Yeah.
You know, that fight's coming up soon. Today is what's the date today? The 5th, 17th?
16. 16, 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got a little bit of time, man. Yeah. Just you know, remain steadfast in your journey, man. Stay focused. Trim the fat, man. If you know,
physically and metaphorically.
Trim the fat, man. Anything that's remotely bothering you or something happens on social media, just go dark, bro. You got a huge challenge ahead of you coming up. You know, you got my support. I put that out there. And I want to remind you one more time, niggas got you at 18%. So do with that information what you will. You know?
For sure.
So yeah, man.
Thank you guys, bro. Like I said, I've been following you for a while. This has been awesome. Like this is, like I said, being on you guys' platform is really great. Bro, I still gotta say my favorite fucking bit was the roach liberal and the roach dessert. Bro, that was so fucking funny. Oh my god. You guys are like so funny. And like I said, bro, you need to do a future impression every show. You guys, bro. Like I said, I'm like, as much as it like was a pleasure to interview me, it was awesome to get interviewed by you guys. You guys are like funny as shit. Like I said, every Monday I'll be tuned in. So thank you guys.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. It's been a long time. We've been walking around here trying to figure out what's going on. You got a big fight coming up, don't you? Yeah. I'll just fuck your bitch in some Gucci flip flops. I'll just make some bitches that I'm in a flip flop.
That's lit. That's lit.
I mean, I had a solid bit too because Russell Wilson just went to the Steelers, so the future is upset. Man, this nigga went to another team. This nigga about to ruin another team.
That's crazy.
All right, man. Well,
appreciate you, brother, man.
Hey,
thank you.
For all those listening, if you made it to the end of this episode, we genuinely appreciate you. Make sure you go follow and support David Baby Hulk Wilson. This is somebody that you really want to check out, man. It'll definitely be worth your while and support that fight coming up on I'm about to put
Zone.
On the Zone. And yeah, if you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace. Yes, sir. I'll end the live right now.
End the live for sure.
Oh, that was dope. That was real dope.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got it?